welcome to the Not Luke 100 Race 3 of the NASCAR Gran Turismo series, not sponsored, and, well, the race is sponsored, not the series, and it is the end of our little oval spectacular thingamajiggy. This is probably going to be one of the most entertaining races of this season, and enjoy. But first, the American National Anthem. Let's get the NotLukeRBLX 100 underway here at Special Stage Road X. Here we go, the NotLukeRBLX 100 is underway as we take the green flag. The 1 is in the lead with the 4 trailing right behind. And you got the 54 staying in the draft as the cars start to circulate towards 2 and 3 wide. But the 1 pulls away with 4 in the draft. This could be a very interesting race. And we have the 48 already making passes. The 54 is losing positions. 54 is out of the draft. As we are 3 wide in some parts. Coming to the, I think it's 3,000 kilometer mark. I don't know metric. The 1 is leading the pack again with the 84 and 48 catching up. The 4 is also right behind 84. This is a tiny pack being formed as we are now halfway through the straightaway 5,000 meters. And the 48 trailing right behind the 1. The 84 made the pass as we are going downhill onto the flat. As 2 cars, a Ford and a Toyota, are falling back. The 18 is staying more in the middle, and the 5 is caught all the way up from the back of the pack, all the way to 6th place, trying to get 5th. As the 11 just backed out of there. And yes, this is the debut for Brown athletes in the NASCAR Gran Turismo series. And the 11's trying to keep up, maybe catch the lead for a little bit. The 11's now passing the 1, 5, 4th place is choosing what he's going to do. He's going to stay behind. He's going to go to the inside of the 1 as they go into turn 1 and 2. But now the 5 trying to make a pass on the outside line. The 11 just trying to keep up in the draft. This is the effect of super speedways. If you lose the draft, you maybe have lost your chance of winning, as the 11 is falling out of the draft, but is still hanging on behind the 48 as 5's too wide with the 11, but has momentum from the outside line coming down a straightaway. So what really is the tactic here? The main tactic is stay in the corner, stay in the draft. This is a super speedway where you're flat out for 20 miles. So you have to be very precautious. One mistake will cost you dearly. And as you could go to the back of the pack, if you get lapped here, it's game over. There's like no way to catch back up. As we're looking at the pack, Eads is lost many positions. He's now in 13th, just trying to make position on the Frenchman in 12th place. But many packs will form here at super speedways, as we are seeing here, but they might not be able to catch up to the lead pack depending on their pace, as we could have just saw the 11s catching back up as we reach the 6,000 meter mark, coming into the tunnel, the very short tunnel. By short, I mean like a kilometer. So what are these cars? So I've made a modification to these cars. What is the modification exactly? Well, these cars now have a fully customizable racing transmission. What does that transmission do? I can limit the speed of the cars. So like here, I can make it so that they all go like 200 miles an hour. I can make it so that they can only go up to 200 miles an hour. These cars are exceeding it because of the draft. And then next week, I can make it 150 because next week we're going on dirt. Well, not really next week. I'm not sure if I can get the video. I don't know. I might be able to film, but next week is very expensive. So I have to buy dirt tires for every single car, and I'm bringing in more cars. So it's complicated. As we can also see, we have new schemes out here on the track today. As all of the cars are going into the pits for the first stop. So what are the statistics of this track? This is a 20 mile track with 4 corners. I don't know why it's like turn 1 and 2 and then turn 3 and 4 if it's only 2 turns. I don't know. All I know is that there's 4 corners. And the track is, I've said it already, Special Stage Route X, and this is what is deemed a final special stage track. As the 11 beats the 5 out of pit lane, it's a drag race out, but the 5, with more horsepower, gets the lead. So this is very interesting. The Toyotas now have the least amount of horsepower because space. Those cars only have like 200 horsepower. So I did some testing with it before the actual race, and I've gathered some information about these Toyotas. What's their strategy? At super speedways, stay in the draft. You go out of the draft, you will fall back. That's why the 11 is the only one up here. The rest of them fell back to the other pack and aren't able to get back up. We shouldn't see the 11 in the lead for a long time. And as you can see, the 11 lost the draft. He's falling back. Meanwhile, like the Camaros are able to catch up. That's the problem with the Toyotas, but the Toyotas are able to manage it. As we go downhill to the 7,000 meter mark of the straightaway, it's so long. So the straightaways are 11 kilometers. Not sure how many miles that is. I don't understand the metric system. 11 kilometers, which means I don't know what is a straight kilometers. I think it's like 2-kilometer corners, like a mile long turns, 2 mile long turns. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that the track is 20 miles long. All I know is the 5 enters the corner, he's gonna go down for that lower middle lane. Never mind, he's going more high. So what's the benefit of going high? Sure, it's just like a Daytona. You're gonna lose positions if you go up high, but the high line you could go faster in because it's higher banked here, and it'll get you more momentum on the straightaway. So that's why the 5's going up there, and 84 and 48 are following him only for the draft. So we can see the Gran Turismo AI have gotten smarter. I'm not sure if it's a secret update or something. This didn't happen at the time, so I don't know. But this is going to be the first competitive race of the season again because of the transmission. All the cars can only go up to 200 miles an hour. This is around the speed of real NASCARs. Even though these cars do have more power, the super speedway the cars here at the super speedways have more power. So you can see the fourths in the back, and the 8s dropped back to 16th. I think he started like 10th. I don't know. The 8's losing positions. And we are gonna finish the day in as the races go on. There's gonna be more colors in the track. I can say that the 9, the 12, and the 22 will be coming to the series in the next race, as we are now watching the 11 battle the 1. Seems like real life, but the 1 didn't do anything up and then past the 11, so we're not gonna see any shenanigans like what we saw at WWT Raceway. If you remember, the 1 just made not only Denny Hamlin but Chase Elliott angry as well. So that was entertaining. But now as we exit the tunnel, coming up the turns 3 and 4, I think we're at the 9,000 kilometer mark. Up ahead, right, that bridge is the 10,000 kilometer mark. The straightaway is almost over. It's only like half a kilometer left. I don't know. I'm gonna count next time I race here. Why do I think I'm gonna race here soon? No. But now we're seeing everyone go up to the high lane, just try and get momentum. The 5 just leading the pack up there in the high lane. Just everyone follows, just to try and stay in the draft and don't bow back. So you can see the car is getting very smart. In fact, when I was recording this, I was laughing at how smart that 84 was. So if we haven't seen already, I'm driving the 5. I kind of have to do that for the race. But as you can see, I'm not always in the lead. It's not like I'm in front no matter what. I'm gonna win. It's like, no, I'm not always in front. It's all about strategy here, because if you make one mistake, like not going into the pit lane, you will be stranded in the middle of the track. That's the last thing you want. As the cars are now coming into the pits. And the 5 won the race out of pit lane, the 84 not far back, and then the 48. Then you got the 11 and the 1 of lead packs all out of the pits. They're not really a pack anymore though, because of the pits. If there wasn't any pits, it would be one ginormous pack. It's not, but the 8's falling back to 17th, but he's out in like 18th. Here, as cars are ghosting because they came out the same time as others. It's just how Gran Turismo works. I can't change anything. It's like the ghosting. It's not an option in custom race. It's really annoying. But as we now see, the 84 passed the 5. So the 5's now trying to pass it at the 5,000 meter mark. gonna try and say, I was gonna try and say like, 5,000 kilometer mark, but no. It's 8 in the morning for me. I'm editing, so I'm tired. It's 8 in the morning for me when I'm editing this, so I'm really tired. But the 5 is now chasing down the 84. Normally I'm editing like afternoon. It's really tiring. I'm really tired right now. It's freezing. But the 5's past the 84 and just cut across the nose. That could have been bad, but coming up into turns 1 and 2, we're all going up to that high lane again. As the 5 in like lap 1 found how high he can go. He just found out how high he can go again. Found the limit. He's up at the limit. He wants to go higher. But the 84 went down low to try and make the pass that will lead to 2 wide on the exit of turn 2. As we can see here, Gran Turismo on that like placing board doesn't tell us the gap between cars like it does in the middle of the race, which I really do not like. I wish it was like a real race, like it shows that. Gran Turismo like showing you the gap from your car to the car in front and behind you. If there's no car in front of you, it doesn't show you. And then it's also like the gap to the leader. It's not like NASCAR, where it shows the gap to the leader and then you have to do like math to figure out where everyone is. But the 5 pulling away from 84, but they're out on that line. 84 is moving over, trying to stay in the draft. This is when I discovered how smart the AI are. As you can see, I'm just trying to get the 84 out of the draft, and I found their limit. They respect track limits. That's all I know. They won't go over those yellow lines when it's not like there isn't a double yellow line, which means you can go over. Not sure what he's doing, but 84 trying to draft on the 5. The 5's just moving all over the place. I'm just enjoying the show when I was recording this. As we are almost halfway through the race. I think we are, in fact, halfway through we're past halfway through the race, in fact. As we come towards, I think it's the 10,000 kilometer mark? 10,000 kilometer mark, we're catching up to the 5 still in front of the 84. So we come to turns 3 and 4, and the 5's just going for that high lane again. The 84 is just following as they're just trying their best. The 84 is just trying their best to catch up. 48 and the 1 are still battling the 11 lost draft. We're going our own pace, and I think there's a pack back here. It's just like 6 to last. I think it only forms because that 54 not really flooring it, but then it like everyone else is scared that if they pass them, they're gonna lose the draft and they're just gonna be shuffled backwards. It's like real racing, and a Toyota is in the back, but like this is real racing. It's like got packs. The 11 lost it. It's the pack though, and the 1 is trying to draft off of the 48s, but really just like cannot achieve it. As we are now looking back at that slower pack, there's a lot, all the Fords are back there. There's like 3 Chevys. Most of the Toyotas, except for like 1, are back in this pack. As the Ford that we're watching here is just figuring out, how do I pass that Toyota without getting shuffled? They decided, I'm going to go to the back of the pack as the 1, or the 5, 84 exit the pit lane in comes the big boy pack. So that's just what I'm gonna call it. Everyone from 6th to last place in the pits, as the 5's trying to pull away from the 84, coming down the straightaway to the 3,000 meter mark. Everything here is in meters, not miles or anything, so I have to say meters. 1,000 meters equals a kilometer. Alright? Alright? Yes. But I have a very good idea. Let's crank it up. That was Crank It Up, and as we come back, the 5's still in the lead, the 84's in second, 48 is in third, 1 in fourth, and the 11 in fifth. So we now approach the not 6,000 meter mark, I think it's like the 1,000 meter mark. The 5's gained quite a large lead as we are more than halfway through lap 4, which will lead us to the white flag eventually. As the 5 approaches the 5,000 meter mark, he's being trailed not so far behind by the 84. 84 wants to go ahead and try and steal this race as the 5 enters the tunnel. The 84 might not be able to do it. It all depends on pit stops and strategies. Now the 84 still in the draft. The 84 is at the 65,000 meter mark. As you now see, the 48's being trailed right behind by the 1, who's now going to the outside to try and make that pass. It's a 2-wide battle, but the 1's got momentum from the draft. The 1 takes the lead. So now he's going to try and clear the 48, the middle line, while the 48 takes the inside, coming towards the exit of the tunnel, and then turns 3 and 4. As they approach the 10,000 meter mark, the 48 still trying to get that position back. As they enter the 48 goes back into the draft. It's now catching up again as they enter the banking. Here, coming up to the lights. Which lane are they going to go towards? They're going to try and pass on the outside, but they fail, so now they're just going to stay on that center lane and hope to do better in pit stops, which we will see if it happens, As they reach halfway through the turn, that's now in turn 4. The 5's already in the pits, and so is the 48. And here is the exit of the turn. The 48 is still right behind the 1 entering pit lane. As pit stops, it started there at the 11's really just running by itself. It lost the draft, so it's really a lone wolf waiting to be passed. As the big boy pack is halfway through the corner, they're all in the low lane for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they are exiting the turn here. Sorry, they're halfway through the turn as the 5 and the 84 are out of the pits, and the 1 shows the beat to the 48 out pit lane when the white flag is waving. That's right, 1 more long lap. This thing's almost over, promise me. And the 48 is just gonna get up to speed, go into the center line, and just try to draft on the 84. So the 1. But the 1 isn't very far ahead, and the 48's in the draft, which could be good for him, as they are now going into the center line. Well, more center, going up the hill at 3,500 meters. And now, about halfway up the hill, the 48 is slowly gaining back time on the 1 as they reach the halfway mark and start going downhill. The 48 has made up a lot of space here, as we can see it from our drone, our not real drone. But he might be able to catch him in the turn. It really just depends on what line they take. But they are up to speed, and they are just flooring it as if there's no tomorrow, because there might not be. There is tomorrow, but this is the last lap. You need to make your move soon. As the 48 is right onto the bumper of the 1, about 1/10 of a second behind, a car length, 9,000 meters done on the straightaway, coming up to the 10,000 meter mark here, and then the corner. As the 48 is now preparing to make his move on the outside, entering the banking. He's probably not going to make it unless he has got momentum to clear, which he does, but it's just going to be a 2-wide battle. The 48 fails, so he's just going to stay behind the 1 and hope to get more momentum than him and just get back into the draft. Let's see if he can do it, as they are halfway through the corner in this interesting track. Coming towards the exit, he's not going to make the pass in the corner, but he's going to draft off of the 1, exit in the corner. Corner exit is very important, but there's no corner exit here. Not important, but the 48's now 2 wide, trying to make a move. Down the straightaway, they are at the 1,000 meter mark. The 48 failed. He's just going to try and draft as the 11's at the 0 meter mark. He's just going to putt down the straightaway. And the big boy pack is halfway through the corner here and coming towards the straightaway as the 11's 2,000 meter mark. But the 48's back into the draft on the 1, trying to go to the outside. This is where the manual the new transmission, it's not manual, it's just, you can drive automatic, but the new transmission, this is where it comes into play. The speed of the cars are limited, which means we could produce some good 2-wide racing. It's all about who has the better strategy. And the 48's just trying to make his move. he's probably going to go to the one's taking that inside defensive line, which will make the 48 go to the outside in the turn as they exit the tunnel right over here. But he is in the draft, coming towards the corner 9,000 meter mark here. 9,000 meter mark here, approaching the 10,000 meter mark. They're past the 10,000 meter mark now, coming up to the corner, 2 wide, entering turns 3 and 4, coming up to the checker flag. The one still staying in front of the 48, but the 48 wants to make their move on the 1, coming into turn 4. And let's take a look at the finish. Who's it gonna be? 2 wide into the tunnel. Could it be the 48 or could it be a 5? Who knows? But the checker flag is out. That was the very first photo finish of the series. Who won? I guess we are going to have to check the slow-mo for the finish of the Not Luke 100 at Special Stage Route X. And the 84 is too wide, but the 5 wins it at the line against 84. And here is a photo of the finish. The gap is only 19 thousandths of a second. That is closer than the Daytona 500 finish of 2022. I think even like 2016. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and subscribe.